Welcome to Drinks Coach. This is the one that counts. This is what Wadders is drinking on Christmas Day. Or was probably going to. Because Wadders' missus hasn't seen her mum and dad for nearly 2 years because of lockdown. And we were this close to seeing them on Christmas Day. We've postponed it until New Year. Looks like we may have to go past that. It seems like there's imminent lockdowns, etc. Some kind of circuit breaker anyway. So it's probably going to be Emma's father's birthday, late January, before we see them again. But this is what I would have drunk on Christmas Day. Well, we're going to be kind of miserable, so that's probably going to be enough. So yes, this is what we're going to be drinking on Christmas Day. Lowercase, Drinks Coach UK. If you'd like to contact me about anything to do with this show, including my elaborate consumption of fine wine during the Christmas festive period, or lowercase Vinesack, which is just basically on anything else at all. If you'd like to hire me for events, virtual, by all means, I'm free. I haven't got a lot on now. Okay, right. What have we got here? Oh, by the way, before anybody makes a noise about my glasses. See that glass? You see how dirty that glass is? It's not dirty. It's covered in water spots. I don't wash my glasses in rinse aid. It creates like little pits in the glass. It also suppresses the flavour of wine. So these glasses may look absolutely filthy, but they're not. They're just covered in water spots, which is how I like them. That's how I use them to taste. Otherwise, the cosmetics of cleaning a glass get in the way. Even the smell of a perfume towel is enough for me to go. So, right. Where are we going to start? This is Christmas Day for me. Okay, we're going to start with this. I was asked to go and do a tasting recently for sherry for the Consejo Regulador Instituto Sherry up on Holloway Road, where there's the most fantastic little delicatessen. God, I wish I could remember what it was called. It'll be in the bar below because I'm going to quote them as the stockist to this lovely wine, because this is a Manzanilla sherry, which I'd not come across before. It's called Gabriela Manzanilla Viña Las Cañas. This is a wine of I think of great finesse. My day would probably start with a glass of fizz, opening the presents in the morning, but that's not how things are done now in the household. We now open presents after lunch, taking away one of the most important and prime opportunities to have alcohol in the body early in the day. So let's call it an accompaniment to a bacon sandwich, shall we? Okay, but anyway, this is Gabriela Manzanilla. Manzanilla is a wine made and aged close to the sea in Sanlúcar de Barrameda, which, because of the unusual humidity, the way they age it, produces a wine of extraordinary salinity and softness and creaminess. And they tend to be young and fresh, but when they say young, 6 to 8 years, and the wine still tastes like they just turned the tap on and it came out. Quite stunning. Lovely smokiness from the floor. Floor is the crust that rests in the wine as it's aging. The barrels aren't full, so they actually have some ullage, and then this white layer of yeast creates a layer, and that layer through which the wine breathes through the oak as well is called flor, F-L-O-R. Abrasively dry, wonderful with maybe a cream cheese and smoked salmon bagel, something along those lines. Moving us on to the next white wine, which I was thinking for Christmas Day. Again, wonderful canapé wine, this, especially with highly proteinous fish snacks. I don't know, maybe some crab meat, maybe some prawns, maybe some of those scallops you can buy ready prepared that you just whack in the oven, covered in garlic butter. That kind of snack out. Anyway, this is Eruzione 1614 Calicante from Planeta. Now, that's a lot to tell you. 2018, Planeta, Alesso Planeta, who's the man of the family these days, and his really quite fetching sister, Francesca Planeta, who now lives in Madrid most of the time. Not Madrid, Milan most of the time. Yeah, Planeta, very, very old family from Sicily, but that only really started seriously making wine in the mid-80s, and now making some of the world's most interesting, exciting wines. Now, Eruzione 1614 refers to a very important and cataclysmic event on the islands when Mount Etna erupted really quite badly, covering the planet, covering the island in lava, killing many, many, many thousands of people. So the eruption of 1614 is the homage. Why? Well, this is a grape variety called Calicante, which is totally unique and local to the area around Mount Etna itself. And where you pick the grapes, on any given day, especially if it's a foggy day, you can hear the whole mountain breathing. You can stand there and you hear this, oh, and it does sound like it's inhaling and exhaling. You almost feel like the ground swelling and then contracting. It's awe-inspiring, if not very slightly terrifying. And of course, Mount Etna is the largest live volcano left in the world, probably in Europe, I think, anyway. But Calicante is a great variety which has incredible tartness and minerality and sharpness, and when you drink it, it's like it kind of gets you on the back of the neck. Amazing colour. I think this wine used to have a tiny, teeny bit of Riesling added to it, but I don't think it has anymore. This is 2018. It's 12.5% alcohol. You're not mucking around. It's a bit unusual, but this fits into my my draw of volcanic wines grown in volcanic soils. If you go back and look at my love for Falanghina, de Sagno, or Greco di Tufo, or Fiano del Avellino, the three white grape varieties from around Naples, all grown on sort of like Vesuvius lava, and you have this incredible energy in the wine. When I smell this wine, it almost makes my hair go stand on end. It's almost like it's got an electric charge. Stony, like licking cold flint. It really does make you shiver. It's almost flagelic. It's almost reaching a point of pain, like drinking a can of Perrier water that's been in the freezer for about 20 minutes and ultra brain freeze. You get this unbelievable tartness, which is almost too much to bear. But that, mediated by sweet prawns with a saffron mayonnaise on a little toast. Oh, absolutely fantastic. Right, well, if you buy it from the wrong place, if you buy it from a posh shop, I know, like, one of the posh department stores, you're probably paying about £40 for this. It's gone up a lot in price because they are rare and they're highly collectible. But if you buy this from venum.co.uk, it's a mere £25. If you buy it from greatwines.co.uk, which are the importer, in fact, it's under £30 as well. I think it's £29. But this wine is expensive, but absolutely joyful treat. And it will go round a good 8 people. Everyone only needs one glass, and you'd really enjoy it and really thoroughly get involved in it. Okay, now we're getting to the lunch itself. What do we have here? Okay, well, we're going to start with this. Hang on. Bear with me. This is from Davies. Thank you for being endless support during the lockdown and everything else. You sent me lots of lovely wines which I'll continue to use during the quiet period when people got nothing better to do than to maybe drink a glass of wine in front of the telly. So no fears there. They sent me some very nice Bordeaux's, for example. Certainly one that I would drink with leg of lamb on New Year's Eve, maybe. Called the Le Beau Secret, the Beautiful Secret, I think. Anyway, I'll find it. Here it is. Le Beau Secret. Well, you know what? We might open that in a minute and see what it looks like. So, what do we have here? We have Davy's Wine, and that's those wine bars as well. Lovely places in the city, but you can buy all this stuff online now. It's got a really lovely, fantastic, old school wine merchants list label. Look, let's count the fonts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's at least 8 fonts on there. That's at least too few. I love the just the old-fashionedness of the prints. But this is a 2020 white Burgundy from Davy's. You can buy it online. It is $13.95. Now, it doesn't matter if this wine's just a Macon, which I think it probably is. It's made from Domaine Chêne, which I understand is very, very high quality. And they're actually down in Saint-Véran, Macon-Fouissé, that part of the world, Fouissé area, just north of Beaujolais. And Emma and I, my wife that is, and I were sitting here watching the telly. I think I was watching an episode of Hawkeye or something. And I picked up the glass and I went, whoa, stop, turn the telly down, right, we're going to have to make a note of this. And then when I saw that it was in the Christmas case from Davies, I was thrilled, because I don't drink white Burgundy on Christmas Day anymore. I used to drink Chablis, but Chablis is too expensive. Most Macons are quite pricey as well. But this is the real thing. It's a lovely, lovely wine. $13.95 is not expensive. I'm getting old. And I remember when Saint-Véran and Saint-Romain even was like $7.99 from Jaffelin and people like that when I was at Oddbins. But that was like 30 billion years ago. So I've just got to stop thinking that things are too expensive and just accepting prices for what they are. And I think if I had to spend £14 on a glass of wine or a bottle of wine for Christmas Day for, let's say, 4 people, this is just absolutely bob on. This is perfect. There's something about it that makes you think that the flavour of turkey breast meat would work very well with this wine. Has a soft, unctuous, creamy texture. It's not balls deep flavour. It's not super concentrated. It's not like a Chassagne Montrachet, but we're not buying Chassagne Montrachet here. And actually, Chassagne Montrachet might spoil an otherwise perfectly good roast turkey lunch. The wine becomes the sort of the focus. And it's like, look at me. Well, when, poor old Brian spent the whole day cooking this incredible meal. So this is more like it. This is understated, classy. Yeah. Perfectly happy with that. Very, very nice wine. $13.95. Well done, Davies. Good work, fellas. Moving on to another wine from Davies, but I'm not going to bore you by tasting it because I drank it already. One of the things that I did taste many, many years ago with a fantastic wine journalist who's still with us, but very sadly has motor neurone disease. For those people watching from America, that's Lou Gehrig's disease. Tough bastard. Young son, lives in a one floor flat with this gorgeous, I think, Brazilian wife. Incredible talent. I mean, he basically learned to play the double bass so he could go and play with the Buena Vista Social Club, and wrote an article about it, read a book about it. He was one of the true wine journalists. And we don't have wine journalists anymore, not proper wine writers. I lie. Victoria Moore is one. She writes wonderful personality pieces. Tim Atkin is not in the broadsheets anymore, but he writes beautifully now. Anyway, so this is a wine which kind of ticks loads of boxes for, I think, the perfect wine to go with roast turkey. Going back to Richard Neal. Richard Neal met me at Leith's restaurant with the erstwhile Nick Tarayan, who sadly passed away many years ago, who was the wine critic for Restaurant Magazine. He was a sommelier of very fine repute. And we tasted together roast turkey with all trimmings, and like 100 wines entered by every multiple retailer, every single supermarket. And there's only like 3 of each now, but in the old days there was like 7 different retailers. You had Bottoms Up, you had Huttons, you had Oddbins, you had all those different people, millions. What we realised was, come rain or shine, the one grape variety that really pings with roast turkey isn't a red variety, although we tried very hard to make it red, because red kind of has a sense of gravitas and occasion. But it was Pinot Gris from the Alsace that worked very well. In fact, concentrated, very stylish Pinot Grigio from Italy, in the £15-20 category. And there's some very fine white wines made from Pinot Grigio, aka Pinot Gris in Italy. But this is a wine which kind of, I think one year I recommended to Kano. This is from Central Otago, which is the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. One year I recommended the Chardonnay with Christmas lunch. One year I definitely recommended their Pinot Noir, which is divine. And you can buy that from Davies as well. It's about £35. But of a producer I didn't know, erstwhile New Zealand. He makes some of the nicest Pinot Noir I've drunk in 10 years. But I just thought, wouldn't it be nice, because everyone else does, if he made a Pinot Gris? Well, he does! This is a 1995 bottle. It was only sent last week, I think, or the week before. I asked to have a look at it. It's on Felton Road, near Bannockburn, the very warm area of Central Otago. And Tucano, Central Otago. Ooh. Pinot Gris. Wines of New Zealand. 2021. This wine is your absolute bang tidy, wonderful, slightly treaty white wine to go with roast turkey. I promise you it'll work. For some reason, Pinot Gris and the soiliness, the earthiness of the flavour of roast turkey are just made for each other. Trust me. So just to remind you where we're at, we have some Manzanilla sherry. We have the Planeta Calicante, which is a wonderful mineralic wine. We had the white Burgundy, which is an absolute cracker, I think, for the money. Can't argue with that. And, of course, this wine I've just raved about, which is the Kano Central Otago Pinot Gris, which is an absolute delight. Okay, so moving on, let's have a look at some red wines. Red wines for Christmas Day. What do we normally go for? Well, I kind of normally go for something Beaujolais-like, or something Pinot Noir-like, and I didn't want to disappoint, so I've got one. But also, the wonderful burgers at Adnams of Southwold, Adnams, a wonderful wine merchant, actually have dropped in a couple of wines for me to try for Christmas Day, which was their choices. And actually, they're both absolutely fantastic. We'll come on to those in a minute. So this wine is from the Wine Society. And this is the Wine Society. Yes, look, if you haven't heard of the Wine Society before, go back and watch virtually every show ever done. The Wine Society is a company based in Stevenage. You pay £40 up front. You're a lifetime member. They give you £20 worth of credit. And after that, you get wine for life without any margin. It's a non-profit making company. It's a charity for people like me. So, this is my boy Shug at the Sonoma coast. Shug is a very well-known producer of Pinot Noir, of very good value Pinot Noir. And this is Shug Pinot Noir 2020, is it? 2019. So Californian Pinot, I think, is made for roast turkey. It has a sweetness. But more importantly, when I'm thinking roast turkey, my roast turkey's got a bit of bread sauce flopped onto it, some gravy, and probably some red cabbage and a few other things going on, or some cranberry sauce. And this kind of moderates and mediates all of that. Lovely pale colour of squished strawberries. And I smell it, and as I live and die, it smells like squished strawberries, like almost actually cassis and framboise mixed together in a barrel of lovely buttery vanilla oil. Think about a really nice pithy raspberry jam on some buttery sourdough toast, and you're getting somewhere near how mouth-wateringly appealing this wine is. This wine is only 15 quid. By every right, it should be probably a tenner more than that in terms of the quality that you're getting. God, it's so good. Can't think of a nicer wine for the money. Absolutely delicious. That's Christmas Day done right there. Put the cork back in there. So, so healthy. Okay, so Adnams. Both these wines were absolute blinders, and I think the world needs to know about them. Everyone knows how crazy I am about Austria and the Alps and skiing and snowing, and as much as we wanted to, my wife and I can't go back out to Innsbruck, to the Berg Isel, to see the second phase of the Vier Schanzen Tournée, or the Four Hills Tournament. But we do love watching our ski jumping, and we do pay £6, £7 a month on Eurosport to do so. ski jumping is crazy, and actually it's really wonderful because you get a lot of women's ski jumping coverage now. It's a very underfunded sport, and I think that people who jump off mountains for fun or for the entertainment of others deserve a little bit more credit, and the women are very, very, very good at it. It's very, very exciting to watch. So, what have we got here? Well, this is an Austrian wine. That's where this was going. It's 11.5% alcohol. It's a Grüner Veltliner. This is Adnams' own label, Grüner. Great label, isn't it? Adnams, Grüner, 2020. Oh, sorry, that's the most important bit. Willi Brundlmayer. Now, Willi Brundlmayer is the god of Grüner Veltliner. I think people, Lenz Moser, I love you, man, but in terms of what you're doing with Grüner Veltliner, you know Willi Brundlmayer. Willi Brundlmayer has Brundlmayer, which is a brand which, if you go to any spa, small supermarket anywhere in the Alps, you can go there and for £5 or £6 buy a bottle of Brundlmayer Grüner Veltliner, which is just an absolute delight. Grüner Veltliner being the kind of national grape variety of Austria. Wonderful, limey, kind of dusted with white pepper. It has a mineralic Bauhaus rectangular kind of shape to it, which is wonderful and very Austrian. It's the wine drinking equivalent of a house which has a 30-foot by 10-foot double glazed bulletproof glass front overlooking a mountain somewhere. That's kind of it. It's very modern and very organised and very architectural. Willi Brundlmayer also owns a very large share, not a controlling share, large share in Schloss Gobelsberg, which is the other great large kind of force to be reckoned with of Grüner Veltliner in Austria. So this is $16.95 a bottle, which is kind of what you'd pay for good Grüner. I've been very, very, I've been vociferous, in fact, openly outspoken about how good the range of Austrian wines are at the Wine Society. Yes, the Wine Society. Still, I think at £17, this is as good as anything the Wine Society has at £17. Oh. First thing I smelt was that white pepper. Then it's like white pepper sprinkled on melon or something. Melon and comfy pear. There's something Arctic, something Christmassy. There's something nutcracker sweet about this wine. Maybe it's because I once drank with my wife a bottle of a wine very similar to this on a balcony overlooking a valley in heavy snow, while on my phone I was playing blum 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 blum, and I had a torch overlooking all the snow coming down the mountains, and we could hear the flutes and everything of Nutcracker Sweet, and it was like, I don't know, I've never felt more Christmassy in my life. So I do associate Grüner Veltliner and Austrian wines in general with the feeling of Christmas. It's so delicious. Really nice wine. Willi Brundlmayer has succeeded once again. But so, that's 17 quid. This is Barolo. Barolo is much more expensive than that, isn't it? Barolo normally. Barolo, DOCG, denominazione originata, controllata e garantita del comune di Serralunga d'Alba, which is one of the very, very, very red hot, very, very cool regions in Barolo for making very fine wine. A lot of white soils which raise the temperature very slightly because of the reflective index of the soil, producing beautiful, ripe, succulent wines. Barolo is made from a grape variety called Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo is quite similar to Pinot Noir in its own way, but never quite has the same tarty succulence, I think was the way I'd describe it. It is more aloof, I think, in description. Usually needs some time in a decanter, which it's not going to get. So I'm going to pour it into this, what appears to be a dirty glass, but isn't. It's just covered in spots. Okay. Okay, look at that. No, that is definitely paler than the Pinot. 2015, by the way, very warm vintage. And this family, who they were very close with, it's Paolo Manzone. Oh, wow. Very fragrant. Yeah, sorry about that. There was a little edit there. My beautiful mother-in-law has very kindly bought me a new Mac Mini, which just arrived. So I had to answer the door. Thank you very much, Sheila. Thanks very much, Brian. It's an amazing present, and means I can do a lot more editing on this stuff. So thank you very much. Anyway, as I continue, going back to our Adnams Barolo, made by the Mazzone family. Mazzone, I think it's Paolo Mazzone. I don't know what to say. It smells like very, very expensive Volnay or expensive Burgundy, but then when you taste it, it's more aloof than that. It's dry, and it doesn't have that sort of tarty sweetness that big Burgundies have. It's just delicious. If you find this wine too much for turkey, I strongly recommend, if you're having roast beef on Christmas Day, you can hit it with this. On the show, the last show I did, I was talking about an £18 Tesco Finest Chateauneuf de Pape, which is amazing with beef Wellington. But if you're going for Chateaubriand, it's Barolo all day long. Absolutely fantastic. So this is £24.99. It's 25 quid. The white wine was £16.99. Two absolutely magnificent Christmas Day wines. So thank you to Adnams. Thank you to Phipps PR, I think it was, that entered them in. And I'm just very grateful they sent them, because they're just brilliant wines that very much fill the hole in my head. I was looking for wines like this. So let's all finish off with something that goes with Christmas pudding. Moscatel de Alejandria, Emile Lustau. Moscatel de Alejandria. This is a fortified muscat, made the same way as Baume de Venise in the southeast of France, Muscat de Rives Altes in the southwest of France. I don't know. Moscatel de Pantelleria from the island of Pantelleria off the coast of Sicily. That's made the same way from another similar, very similar variety. So why am I picking this? I don't know. If you're not drinking Asti or Moscato d'Asti, and I'm really sorry, Menzendorf, you sent me a box of wines. I got a delivery sheet, but I cannot find your box of wines. I'm very, very sorry. I fear they may have been stolen. I do have a couple of wines I'm going to recommend anyway, which you sent me before, but very disappointing. But I will find out and get to the bottom of it. But when those wines surface, I will use them in the show. I do apologise. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm looking for a Moscatel to go with Christmas Pud. Christmas Pud just deserves to have Muscat with it. Drink a bottle of Martini Asti if you have to, or Gancia Asti if you know Gancia, fantastic Asti producer, or Moscato d'Asti from something like Chiretto, which was what Menzendorf were going to send me. Rather disappointed about that not being here. This is 15% alcohol. So what happens is they get grapes, Muscat grapes, which by the way are the only grape variety we actually taste of grapes. Yeah, and they're big grapes, delicious and juicy. But then they crush them, and then they add booze to them when they're only 1% fermented. So what you've got here is just the smell of raw muscat. Ah, it smells of Earl Grey tea and lemons. I mean, does that sound lovely? Like a Malfi, like a peel of a Malfi lemon. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of Malfi lemons in this motherfucking thing. So I know what Malfi smells like. And it smells of a lot of money and expense. And this is really, really amazing. So drink this with a light chocolate mousse, but more importantly, with your Christmas pud flamed like crazy with a glass of cognac. How much is this? I think it's $6.80 or something from Waitrose. It'll be in the pull-down menu. But there we go. Very pleasant wine. Not a lot of money. Very nice. So, to recap. This is our lineup for Christmas Day. See you next time, if there is a next time.